Can you hear me, guys? Yeah. Thank you. So let's wait 5-10 minutes. Oh, full stack burger. Gustavo? Yeah. Can you see my screen, guys? Yeah, thank you. I just got we were working with the socket, so we'll cover like client connection to the server, sending some of the messages, joining the groups, right? Other thing is just logical. You can work on that. Yeah, let's wait 5 minutes more. So, how was the quiz, guys? I hope everyone attended. I have seen some of the students are skipping the quiz. Okay, very good. Thank you. Yes, I hope nobody will join now. So let's get started, guys. So as usual, let's create the folder for the project. And today we will add some external modules. Okay, so your project will have now node module folder, and we will also use the node mon. Okay, so you can recall whatever you have understood from the previous semester, like using the node mon. Okay, so I'm just creating the folder outside, like not using the terminal. Okay, I'm right away opening my project in the Visual Code. Okay, so you can create your folder, your desired location. So I'm just having week 3 Thursday lab socket example. Yeah, I just want to name like that. Okay, and I'm just opening this folder here in Visual Code. Okay. Let me know once you open that, then we'll issue the command, and you know basically which command we are executing. Okay. So you can open. Okay. Okay, so let's open the terminal and we'll issue npm init y. Okay, so today we'll see working with the socket, right? So I already discussed the example of testing in the lecture, so you can take a look. I have uploaded the example. So, and the lab access is very simple. You just have to check addition subtraction with the mocha chai. Okay, so you can take a care of that. Okay, now you can have example and you can put your name here. Okay. So I'm not going to use the index.js. I will name it as a server.js, right? So we can get clear idea that, okay, what file we have, server.js. Okay, just create that one. And we will add some modules like, so I'm using npm add, then I will install. So we know we need express, we know course, we need socket.io, right? So these two are required. Npm add, express, course, and the express io. Okay. So let me see how it works here. Let me know once you finish, guys. It is not adding. Okay, it's added. Yeah, added and install. You can also use npm install, right? I'm just using this one. Now npm install save dev. I want to use nodemon. Okay, so I'm using the nodemon as a developer. Right? So you can use add or install, whatever option you want. Yeah, so nodemon I don't want to add as a dependency. I want to add as a developer dependency, Kadra. So I'm using that as a dev, separate installation. Make sense? Yeah. So we have now dev dependency and we have the dependency. Okay. Okay. Last command is here. Yeah. However, let me know once you finish that. Done. Okay, yeah, thank you. Okay, so what we need, let me explain. So we need the socket.io. So this is the server side. Now when we create the client, like we will create the HTML file, so we can use the same installation. We don't have to do any separate installation for sending the file from here if you're having the backend and front end within the same project. Right now we have the concept of like using the front end technologies like React or the Angular or the Vue. So what you have to do there, that's a separate project. So you have to install the client library there. Socket.io dash client library is available, right? So you can use that separately, right? So I will share one link, you can refer by yourself, like example of like chat. Okay, and you can also create the React application, because we haven't seen the Angular, so I don't want to introduce that. But there is a React application sample available, so I will share with you later. But we will just do some communication. We'll understand the concept with the help of like simple client HTML file, and then we will establish the connection and we'll do some message sending. Okay, so don't worry about the client. So separately we can have the separate socket IO client, or we can use the same. Okay, so now I have created the server.js file. Okay, and I will create the client, the HTML file later. Okay, so first let's start with setting up our code, right? So we have also use a node-mon, right? So we need to add one script. So please add the script that start, okay, and node-mon server.js. Okay, let me know once you finish this one. So node1 we have added, so we can start executing just using this start, because we need to keep our application running. Init -y, npm init -y. Got it? Okay, now let's start with writing the code in a server file. Right? So we don't temper anything here. We just finish this one. Okay, so I will create the code share later when I want to share the code. Okay, now let's add the express first. So constant express is equal to require, and we can see the sorry. Okay, so he is automatically helping me. I found this good plugin here. Okay, so I will use this later. Okay, now express. Okay, so I will right away create the variable, because I don't want to do separate line. So I will just use the bracket here. Okay, so I'm just creating, so I'm not creating express and creating the app separately, right? So right away require and create the variable. Now we need the HTTP, so I have to create the HTTP. So because we need to establish the connection using the HTTP, so I'm HTTP and right away using the create server, right? Create server. You see it's automatically suggesting me, but it's fine. I can close that, and I can use the express here. I'm passing the express app here. Okay, but instead let me use the app, so you will be aligned. Okay, so creating the application and having the app, right? And then we can have the course, because we can access from multiple browser, right? So course is here. Okay, and then we can define one port number is equal to 3000. Whatever port you want, you can use that. Okay, so this is a basic requirement, right? And then we can use app.use course object, okay, so that you don't. Okay, I'm just closing this one so it doesn't open. Done, guys? Okay, so this is just import. Now we need to import the socket too. So what I'm doing, I'm creating the one socket. So I'm just naming as the IO. You can have the socket, but socket we will use inside our successful connection. So I'm using the IO as a server. You can make any name. So require, I will use the socket.io, right? And then I will right away pass the HTTP, right? So this parameter is required. So you see app is parameter of the HTTP, HTTP is the parameter of the socket, right? So we are utilizing the same connection. Okay. So I'm just writing here, create server side socket. Everyone done? Okay. Now remember, let me explain one concept that, okay, if you want to sign up, if you want to log in to the chat system, right? If you want to show the history from the database, if you're using the MongoDB to store the chat history, right? User information. So what you can do, you don't have to use a socket. Remember, socket is just for sending the message real time, right? If you want to bring the history, you have to store somewhere. Socket will not keep all the history, right? So you can store the database, the value in the database and retrieve it later. Make sense? So you can use the express API, right? So we can create the get post request, we create the HTML form, and we can do some back and forth with the APIs. Okay. And for real-time communication, we have to use the socket. Okay, everyone clear? So don't interpret that, okay, we can also send the user data, we can keep like persistent. So we have to use the database in that sense. Okay, anyone, any question here? So you know how to do that. So I'm just creating the get method just for your understanding, right? So we have done the similar request and response. Okay. So this is my response dot send. We were using this one. I can say H1 welcome to socket programming, or you can use the socket or chat application, whatever name you want. Right? I'm just picking this one. Okay. Now then we have to start the server, the last step. Then we will execute this application and then we will add the code. Okay, so you know http dot listen, I have to pass the port number, comma, I can have the callback, say the message console.log, use the template, server running at port. Okay, so this is my message. So when the server is run, I will get the message. Okay, so we haven't add anything about the socket. We just imported, like we just create the object of the socket. Right, now let's run that. npm start. So everything is fine, then you will get this message. Now we have to use the browser, remember guys. So I will just use it here, localhost 3000. You see I got the welcome to socket programming. So this is just calling the express API, nothing else. But the socket object is also created on the server side. That's named the IO. We haven't created any client, right? And we need the express application to send the HTML file to the user, right? So we are creating this HTML. Okay, let me know once you're done. Okay, please confirm. Okay, anyone else? Okay, cool. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Okay, so our object is here right now. If you write the code, it doesn't work here because we don't have the client right now, right? So we will also set up the client and then we'll start writing the code. So what we have to do, I will share some small template with you. to create that. So I will create the index.html, index.html. So this would be my client side interface for the client, right? So let me create the code share so that I can share the HTML template with you, so you don't have to create that, right? So we will update if it's required. So please open that. I have to find that one here. Okay, so this is just HTML template. Okay, let me know once you can see that. Okay, I have to bring that too, right? So I just bring it here on my side. Okay, yeah, thank you. Okay, now what we have to do, we have to send this file to the client. We cannot use directly that index.html, right? So we have to make it available to the client because we are using the node application. So how we can do that? So I can add another endpoint, app.get. I can also say the index.html. Okay, let's see how it works. And then request and response I want to send. So how I can send? Response.send file. I can use a send file. I have to use the directory name plus index.html. So this will send my file. Whenever I say index.html, it will send it. Okay. So this is default and this is for the index. Now my server is running. So I will just do slash index.html. Now you see, I will get this interface. Okay. So let me go back and you can complete the code. So default express get index.html to, okay, this is fine. Express direct, it was direct express, you see, yeah, express and nodemon was there. Okay, so this is the HTML just copied here and I didn't do anything, but I can add the h1 if I want. Sample chat app. Okay, when I refresh it, I will get something like this, right? So this is for the username entry, this is for the room, and this is for the message sending. And there is one more which is hidden, which will display the messages, right? No formatting, no cosmetic. I just use the simple interface, right? So send, if you want to send the name, you can have that and you can display it, but you have to again manage that, all those things. And you have the join room. We will see this example and sending the message, right? We can type it and we can send the message. And we will also see messages for like displaying, right? Whenever we connect it to the client. Okay. So let me know once you're done. You will see the same interface here. All good? Yeah, server code is here. Okay, yeah, thank you. Okay, now let's configure the client side. So we just set up the IO. This is the input, right? This library, let's say. So we can add the library on the client, like add the script, because this is JavaScript. So script is there. Then we can have the src is equal to. So how I can add that? So I have to write the socket.io, right? So I want to import from the server, right? So I, instead of using the local host colon 300 I can use something like this because this is serving from the default, right? So I can have, see, I can use node mod, but we don't have to use that. So use the socket.io slash socket.io.js. This is the client side import of the library. You can use a local host colon 3000, but we don't want to use, right? This is fine. This is the default setup, right? So we are importing the line here. Okay, let me know once you're done. So this will just importing the file, right? Now we will write the code within this script block. Everything will be under this one. Okay, so we can create the object of, sorry, I'm just writing the client. You can use anything, any name you want, and the IO equal to IO, same as we create the object of IO. So this is the input output object coming, the class coming from the this file, and this is coming from the server. Okay, so we just create this. So what happened if once you get execute this file, the client got connected. This is just client connection, right? So this is sending request to the client. Make sense? Now we let me know once you finish this block. Okay, now if you go to the server, we just have the import, right? So we have to start writing. So I'm just writing below this one. So io dot on. So you are aware with the concept that socket is a bidirectional, right? And it's an event based bidirectional stream, right? So it's basically a stream which send data back and forth. So it's a bidirectional on the same connection, and it has an event base. So by default there are some event created, so we can use the connection. So connection is the name, remember the name connection, and then we can have the parameter socket. This socket is different, small. This is the parameter, right? I can name anything here. So this is the connection. So once, as soon as you executed the client, this event will call. So this is the successful connection. If you are inside this one, you are the successful connected. So what I'm doing, I'm just printing the message to see that I can say connection created, right? I can write this message. So connection created. Okay. Okay. Got it, guys? I don't know that. Okay, now you see this is just an event. So this is for accepting the new connection, right? So accept client request, right? So now let's do, you don't see the message here because we haven't refreshed the client. So if you once you refresh the client, means this is a new connection, right? So you will see the message, see connection created. Now what it means, client is connected now, right? So if I want to display the information about like what socket contain, right? So what I'm doing, I'm just displaying the socket ID. So there is one field ID. So as soon as you see, you got the ID of the connection. So every client which is connected will have the unique ID. So now what is the client? So multiple browser request is the client. So now I have opened one browser, means this is my one right client, but this is not another client because this browser is same. Okay, yeah, it's created another one. You see, you got the another connection. So two clients are connected, but I always use the separate screen so to show that, so we can easily see side by side. Okay, so I will just use like this. So you see, this is another client, this is another client. If you open this another browser, yeah. So oh sorry, just a minute. You can display, I'm displaying here, see in the connection. So see, this event is the global. This is the first event to call when this line got executed. So we created the client. means we create the object of the client. So automatically server knows that, okay, someone got connected. Make sense? Okay, let me drop the code. Got it? So you have this line, copy my code, copy the code, Saloni, and then you just watch for this line, this one. Okay, don't worry. If you copied the code, let's copy the code for the server. Okay, I pasted there. Okay, now what is this? This is the connection, right? So I'm just using the socket ID just to display, so I can easily identify. So now when you are live, like when you are doing real time, so how you can manage socket ID is unique for each client. Let's say my name is Pritesh, I'm connected as a user Pritesh, so I have one socket ID, only one socket ID is assigned, remember. So use socket ID, username, or username is unique, then socket ID, username unique, then the socket ID is the value of that, like that. So you can map like that. So you can keep in the database, you keep in the cache, you can keep in the local variable just to identify which username is connected with what ID of the socket ID, right? So you can use that. So again, I just want to display whole value to demonstrate like what value. I'm just commenting this one. You see, it has lots of other value. When it is issued, what is the address, timing, right? So you can get lots of information, cookies, right? So accept header information, ID is there, you see socket ID. We can have other information like default room definition, right? So all information are available here, but we are interested only in the ID for now. If you want to explore more, you can try, right? What information you want to use. So this is just info displaying the ID, right? So I'm just commenting that I don't want that. I will just keep the ID for now. Now, what I want to do, I want to let user know that, okay, you are connected successfully, right? I want to now user know that, okay, your client ID is this, you welcome to the system, something like that I want to send. So can anyone guide me how I can send the message? Whatever. Okay, yes, I want to send back user, right? How I can send? Just give me a little idea. Okay, yes, good. Yeah, thank you. So what we need to do, we need to emit. You see event based. So you see the event handling last semester in detail that, okay, we can have the on and we can emit. Emit is to fire the event, right? So what I can do, so see, I'm just writing send welcome message, right? This is for everyone. So what I do, I cannot use the IO. So IO is the global one. I have to use the socket. So this is actually the client. Socket is the parameter of the client. I have to use the socket. So I will let you know when to use the IO. Sometimes we will use the IO, but IO is for different purpose. We have the sock controls of the socket. Now we can see the emit. So I have to write the message. I have to write the means the event name. So I'm just writing welcome event name. So you can have any name. Remember, greet anything. And I want to send the message like I will do templating. So welcome to chat. Your ID is $socket.id. So I'm sending a message that welcome to chat system, or maybe whatever I can write. Your ID is this. So this is sent when the connection established, right? Because I have the welcome message. You see here. Now, how client will know? So see, now we have started shaping our application. So we need to write this welcome event on the client side so that client can read it. So there is no event. So IO dot client dot on what? On welcome. On welcome, I am getting the message. You see, I'm getting the message, and I have to write this message now. Okay, I have to write this message. So what I'm doing, I'm creating custom function. So function add message. Okay, I'm just passing the message. I'm writing the custom message, right? So see, this event will call. Right now, I'm not doing anything. I'm just printing it for your understanding. Log and the message. Make sense? So what happened? We have to write our own event. Remember, this is very flexible now. This event based means I can register the event, I can fire the event. So this is the event register on the client side. I'm firing using the emit using the server side. If I write on my side, I can fire using the emit from the client side, right? Back and forth. You can write vice versa. But this event is automatically available. That's why we are not having, we are not calling. When IO object is hit, it's done. Now I can also do socket dot on. There is one event available. Okay, that is which one? Default event was there. Anyone can recall any event which you can remember from the lecture? Connection was there. Then disconnect. Okay, any other? So disconnect is the automatically available. I'm just writing console.log. I can write what I can do. I can display the ID, right? Okay. You see? So this will automatically call when this kind means you refresh or you close the browser. Yeah, connection underscore error, right? You can register any event default, but this is our custom event. Make sense, guys? Everyone understood? Yeah, Gustavo, thank you. So register the event, fire the event, register the event, fire the event. If you register on this client using the on, you can fire from the server. If you say on the server, you can emit from the client. It's like that. So emit is opposite return somewhere on the client, but it should be the custom one, right? Now let's see on the console side, right? So server is running. Okay. So let me clean this one. So okay, let me close it and run it again. So we can do the clean, right? So server connected, connection created, because there is a two client which is refreshing. Now I want to see the message, right? So let me go here, right click and inspect. You can see in the console, right? I'm just cleaning this one. Now I will do the refresh. Refresh, something went wrong. Yes, I did the wrong spell here. Socket.id. Yeah. Okay, so port is connected. I am here. So I got the connection. You see server connection created. If you want to see on the client side, you will see the message. See, welcome to chat. Your ID is this. Right here, when you right click, you will also see that, but I just have small space, so I didn't do that. See, welcome ID is connected. Again, this is the connection, right? So there is no disconnection. But as soon as you refresh, means see disconnection and connection happen again. So see, this was the older ID. This is the new ID. Everyone clear? Right? So yes, it will show because we are displaying, right? We're displaying. So we can also say other client that, okay, this user is log out, this user is gone. So we can implement like that. So it will display here because I just display the message, right? So now we are good to go. Okay, so we are not done. Now I want to display something here. So if you check the HTML, so I have one placeholder, you see socket. So let's add one title, let's say h3 and just write chat history, right? Something. So what we can do, we can understand that, okay, under this there will be chat history, right? So I'm just using one. Okay, now I want to display. So because I will display all the messages there, right? So I have to write some little bit JavaScript code, like core JavaScript, like document.get element by ID and all those things, right? So what I'm doing, I have the function. I will write like this. Okay, I'm using the div. I'm writing the message. Whatever message I pass it, I can use that, right? So let me put it here in the chat. This is small line, so I'm dropping that. So what will happen now? I have this ID, and I will put all the message there. I can use the para or div because I want to do the new line each time, right? And then I will say add message, right? So this is my custom message. Okay, add message, and then let me refresh it again. You see, I can see the message. I can see the message here. Same way, I can also see the message because I just customize that. I want to display the, here it's display, but we don't require now. So you see, this ID is different, this ID is different. So you can keep somewhere on the local storage for future use if you want. Okay. Everyone clear? Okay, let me go to the client side and you can write it. Okay, sorry. Let me paste it here in the, because we didn't make any changes on the server. So I'm just putting it in the browser, our code share. You can use that. Okay, if you will type it, then it would be fun. And yesterday I was stuck, like I was very lazy, right? Typing some code. So it just take 10-15 minutes, right? But later I wrote it and sent the updated code. Yeah, cool. Okay, yeah, thank you. Okay, now you can use this. I can comment this one if I don't want to display, right? So whenever you get the welcome message, you will display, right? So now what I want to do, I want to send some message. I want to send some message to the server, and server will send to everyone. Okay? We want to do like that, right? By default. So what we will use, I will type some message here. When I say send, it should available to everyone. We are not identify who is sending. We just say, okay, send to everyone. Make sense, guys? Send to everyone, and it will display, right? So it's like broadcasting. So what I can do, I have to send the message. So what I have to do, I have this message typing and I have the function name. So I wrote the function name. You see, send message. So you can copy this one. What I have, add message, right? So this send message is my custom function. So function send message is the event, right? Button click, okay? Button click to send message. Make sense? Now, as soon as I click the send, I want to send the message from where? I want to send the message from this message field, right? So I have to do the get element by ID, right? Get element by ID dot value, right? So I will get the message. I can say where message is equal to this. I'm not validating anything. Then io dot emit. See, I have to do the emit, and I can say message. Okay, message from the user. Then I have to pass the message. So see, I'm sending message to the server now. So let me know what I have to do. You can guide me now. Okay, yeah, Gustavo, thank you. So I wrote this message, button click to send the message. I'm getting the ID of the message. Sorry, I made a mistake. Message, because I have to copy from the message, right? So get the message from the text box. No validation, right? I'm not validating. And then I'm sending the io.emit. Now instead of IO, I have to use the client. Okay, sorry, just correct me if I made a mistake. Otherwise, we will waste some time. So client is you because the object is the client, not IO, right? So client will emit. So I have to register the message event. So everyone done on the client side? Let me know, please confirm. Okay, now we have to register the message event. Now let's go to the server and let's write some socket dot on. So whenever the message is available, I can write any object, right? So remember, this can be anything. This can be object too. So I'm just writing, okay, I'm just writing data, let's say, right? You can have any name. And I will just display, that message is available or not. Then we will broadcast. Let's say data. Okay, so emit message is emitted from the client and server has the listener, it will emit on this socket, right? So I can also say message sent from this socket ID because I don't have the username right now. So I'm not doing any manipulation or any comparison, right? So I'm just using the displaying, right? So everyone good? Okay, so we are not sending to any other client. We are just receiving on the server, right? So this is the history, right? Because it's just doing. Now let me send the message. I say hello server, right? Let me do hello. You see, because I think it requires the refresh of the code. Hello server. You see, I'm receiving the message. If I do the same thing here, how are you? Something message. You see, I'm receiving on the server. Now I can do whatever I want with this message. I can send to any other client, right? So you will see the message in the log here. Okay, let me know once you finish that one. All good? Yeah. Server.js is available on the H file. Yeah, you can copy now. No problem. Okay, now you remember, you see here what happened. Each time I'm reconnecting, I'm losing my messages. So there is no mechanism of persistent storage that, okay, it will maintain the history. So we have to do the manual process, like, okay, when the message is received, store in the database. When you want to retrieve the history, use the API, right? Get all history like that. Don't rely on the socket. Okay, so remember, whenever you have to create the chat application, API and the socket use together, right? No socket only will work, right? So this is the ID. Each time you will get the new. This is for the real time. Okay, that's for session, let's say. Okay, now we got the message here. Now what I want to do, I want to send to all other people. I want to send to all other connected. I'm talking about all other connected. Because we haven't differentiated that, okay, this is the user, this is the specific user, right? So how I can do that? How I can do that? I have to do the event writing, right? So this is the message from the server side. Now server will send back to all people, right? So there should be one event, right? So we should emit one event. So let's say I'm writing socket dot emit. Okay, now let's see what happened. Socket dot emit. I will say new message. Right? I'm just writing the name and I'm sending the data. So this is receiving on the server. This is sending back to the client. Now we have to understand where it will send, right? Where it will send. So you will understand, like by default, we will start writing like this. So this is the emit. We are writing the new message, right? So this is the new message. Okay, I know that. So I have to write it some event here that new message is received, right? Client dot on new message. I will say message. I can name anything, and I will display here that add message. I'm just writing message, right? So this message is coming from message from all other clients. So this is welcome event. This is new message, means now server send some message. So where to receive? So we will receive the message here, and this message is sent to the server. So I can say to server, to client, like that. I can name like that, right? So I'm writing the on. Just finish this one, then I will show you the server one. Just write the client. Okay, let me know once you finish. Yeah, Carter, thank you. Right, so client will listen to this event, which server will send a message. We can use this welcome, but welcome is for what? We have some customized message, right? So I'm using the welcome, but I can also use the same welcome. Instead of welcome, I can have the message, right? I can use that, but I just write this separately, right? So you can use the same new message, same event. You see, make sense, guys? You can use the same event, but I just want to keep it separately for now. You can use that. Okay, now server receive some message and emitting to the client. Okay, now let's refresh and see what happened. Refresh it both. Now I'm sending it here. Hello all, right? So you see where I'm receiving current. Say hi. You see, I'm sending and I'm receiving. I don't want like that. I know my message. Why should I send to myself? Right? So why it's happening this? Now you will get the better idea. So see, when I sending the message back, it's sending me back. I'm the sender, it's not sending to other client. So if you review the code, you see, can anyone identify? I'm just closing this one, right? I'm just moving this out line. I don't want extra line. Okay, IO dot on. Okay. No, message is receiving. Okay, so remember, if you write this line, right, this will send to current client, right? So this will only send to the current client. Yes, because we use the socket. You see, now the IO is important here. IO is the global one. You see, IO dot sockets dot emit, and then I can write the same message here. Make sense now? Now you see, when you want to make something global, that's the IO. Specific client socket is in picture. All good? Now you understand? Now this will send to all the client, including sender. Okay, let's see what happened. Everyone good? So this emit, just write this line, comment both, and let me know once you finish this one. So someone will send a message. Now IO will send to all other sockets, right? This is the concept. Should I run it? Okay, refresh it. I say, hello guys. You see, sending. It's also sent to the current user. See, and I'm sending. See, it's sending to both. If you open the third one, the third will not see the history. But once you start sending, it will receive the message. You see, once it join, it send. It don't see the history because we are not maintaining the history and sending back, right? Because we don't persist the data. Okay, I hope everyone good now. Everyone can see the same scenario. Okay, where you want to do? I can drop the code. Okay, so I'm just dropping the server first. Okay, copy the server. Let me know. Just indicate the message. Then I will update the client, the browser. I have to bring this guy this side so I can easily move around, right? Okay, this is little bigger. When I click here, this is little bigger. When I click here, when I click here, when I click here. Okay, I'm in drive. Yes, so Saloni chat will not work, right? As soon as you refresh, everything is gone. This is just static on our side, right? We have to maintain the database. Once you receive the message, keep in the database for the specific group, a specific chat, right? You know, database connection, like for the MongoDB, you can introduce that. Make sense? Oh, this one? Okay, what I did, I see I'm adding the message here. See, I'm add inner HTML. I'm adding the inner HTML, getting the inner HTML and concatenation. I'm concatenating the previous one. I'm concatenating the older messages and adding one more. That's why, right? It's on the client side. Yeah, let me share. Let me share my piece browser code. Paste it there. Yeah, paste it there. And if it doesn't work, we can share. Okay, now you see the scenario that the sender also receive the message back. The sender also receive the message, but we don't want to do that because I know my message. Why should I'm sending back? I'm using the network bandwidth, right? So there is a mechanism. Okay, I write my message. I know I can store locally and I can concate back. And other client want to know my message, right? So if I want to concate, like who is sending the message, so what I can do, once I send the message, you see, when I'm emitting from the server, right? You see, I'm emitting them from the server. So I can write like this, see, instead of username, right? I can use $socket.id, okay, just for identification, right? Who is sending, colon dollar message, right? So see, this is the sender. I'm just identifying by the socket ID. Refresh it. So here is just a chat. Refresh it here and refresh it, right? So I say hi. You see who sent? This is the client ID of this one. So we can know this client sent, and these guys will also know. Who are you, right? Something. So you see, this is the same sender, and this is the who is sending. So we can identify who is sending that. All good. So you can identify like that because we don't have the username. When we set the username, we can identify username and the socket ID. Username and the socket ID. So username should be unique. Remember, right? All good, guys. So we are just identifying. If I want to make little bit different, I can add the bold here. Let me see if this works. If this can send. Okay, I'm just trying. Okay, you see, bold means is the username. I'm just formatting the message basically. Again, if I want to make it little bit different again, okay, so what I can do, this is the client side processing, right? So instead of this, okay, I can create the object constant msg is equal to object. Now I can say sender So socket.id is the sender and message is the data, right? And I can send this object right away here. Okay, so this is the JSON object, right? So I can send that. And here I'm just dumping whole message. Okay, so you see I'm getting the object. So I have to do little bit trick here on the receiver side, right? Whenever I'm receiving the message here, where is the receiver here? New message, right? So what I have to do, I have to do like constant data. Okay, I can write anything, and then I can say dollar msg dot sender, right? I want to make this bold too, so make it bold, colon, I will make it bold, right? And then we have dollar msg dot message, and I can send this data, right, to display. So see, I'm just sending right away. Hi, see, it's formatted. So I'm sending as an object. You can send anything. You can send anything. You see? Hello. Got it, guys? So we can identify, okay, I can also embed the object. It's not like that you have to send the string. You can embed the object. It's a JSON object. You can convert JSON to the string like that. But we should have follow the specific format. No, it doesn't work, Max. If you send the closure of the function, it doesn't work, right? But I have the mechanism to end callback automatically, that message sent successfully. I can have one parameter as in closer, and when I write the event, I can have the receiver, right? I can have the mechanism to read the message back. Okay, so I'm sending the index file, guys. You can just update on your side, and I'm sending the server. Okay, let me know once you finish. Okay, guys, done. I want to replace with the server. Okay, so server is also available. So see, I'm sending the whole object. So you read the data, you can pass the date and time, right? Username, we haven't integrated the user yet, right? So you can use that. Okay, I hope everyone will see. So this is just identification by the ID. So this is the technical, right? This is not the user friendly. So now let's move next. Then we will have the break. I just want to update one code, right? So what happened here? I say emit. So right, emit will emit to all other client. You see, including the sender, including the sender. But if I don't want to include the sender, means I don't want to send back, right? To reserve the bandwidth. So I have the broadcasting. So what I can do? So let's try. I'm commenting this line. Okay, just commenting this line. Okay, let me copy this one, and socket dot broadcast dot emit. So let's see, socket dot broadcast dot emit. Okay, now let's refresh it. Let refresh it here, and let refresh it here too. Okay, now I'm sending. See, this is the client sender. Hi, you see, only these two receive. Only these two, because I have the message. I have the message. Now how I can show the message here? So you are sending the message from here. You pressing the button, right? So you right away you can also call the message here, right? Add message. Emit it and call the add message here and pass the message here. So it will also display on the you can format that. If it is bold or different color, it's my message, right? If other message different color, right, I can identify, right? So if I do, I don't want to do like that because I have the div there, right? If I embed the p, I can do like color, basically you understand, right? So I can also concat me, something like that. Right? We are just tempering, right? Message me plus. So you see, refresh it, and I say hi me. This is me, right? And if I send, you see, this is different. This is me, same color. Ho ho me is here. And if I do refresh again, hello. So this is me and these are other color. You see, you can also, but you have to identify like different color. You can, because everything is will be now manipulation, right? Just socket on and emit. On and emit is the play around. It's like piano playing there. Okay, so now we don't want to do broadcasting. So remember, broadcasting we can use if you don't want to receive, right? So let me do here. This will send to all other client except sender. Okay, I hope everyone understand now. So do you want me to share? I think I updated, right? Do you want me to update? You can read the logic. So I'm sending the client file and then I will update the server. Let me know. Copied? 34 people. Okay. Oh my God. Repost it. Okay. Yeah. So copy, updating the, okay, copied. Yes. Copying. Yeah. Server code is available. Okay. Now we can have the 10 minutes break, guys. Okay. Let's do 10 minutes break. Or should I continue and leave it earlier? Only name. Okay. Yeah. Let's do 10 minutes break. Let's come by 7:15. Okay, Atlas code is there. Hello, everyone back. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so now let's do the joining the groups, right? So we have one field here, right? So to join the group, so we will join, two people will join Java group, another two people will join Python or the other topic, right? And we will see how we can group similar interest user and send the message within there. So this is sending to all now. I want to join the group, room, right? So we call it as a room here. So we have to pass the name, right? So what happened on the client side, you have to provide some name, or user can create the room and you have to keep somewhere, right? You have to keep somewhere, and then other user can join that group, right? So you can hard code some group or provide the list of the groups to the user on the client side, or user allowed to create the group and allow other to join. So when you are creating dynamic groups, so you have to keep somewhere like the group which is created, right, on the server side, means on the database, right? So that's another part, like you can create the group and save in the server, or you provide user with some specific predefined topics. Okay, so that's up to you what to do. So whenever I will say join room, I have to send the message, right? So what I have to do, client will say emit and server will say the join, right? So let's create one event here, join new room, right? So what I'm doing, socket dot on, I'm just writing join, right? I just say join, and this is the callback, right? I'm just writing this message, right? We are just writing the join, right? But I think this will send the data, so I can say room, right? I can say the room here. We can update this later, and we have socket will join, right? Socket will join the room name, right? So room name is here. So this socket is inside this room. Make sense, guys? So join will emitted, we pass the room name. So let me do like this, room name. So we will get to know room name, right? Okay, so this will join the group. I'm not sending any message, but if you want to send the message that user join, right? So again, you have to format something like this, right? Which sender joined which room, right? So because right now we are just formatting the message on our side, right? So you, if you want to say successfully join, you can use the message welcome, right? So socket means I have to broadcast to all, right? I have to broadcast to all, right? I have to broadcast to all, so I can use the same format, and I will use this message. Better to use this everyone, right? Let's send to everyone, and here I will write the message that join the room successfully. Okay. Make sense, guys? So what happened when we join the room, we are sending all other people that okay, I joined the room. But sometime what happened, you don't want to send to all those who are inside the room, you want to send that to them, right? So I'm also sending to myself, right? So this is, we will change the function call here, that okay, to whom we have to send, right now I'm sending to all, but this is not a good way. I don't want to tell other user that who joined the group. Make sense, guys? but right, we will update this line. We will update this line later. Okay, finish. Okay, complete this line. Okay, now on the client side, when I press the button, right? So we have the button event here, room name and join room. So I have one event. So copy that name and create the function below here. You can create anywhere. Button click to join the room. Okay, I'm just using the function. You can use whatever function you want. And then we need to get the room name. Okay, remember, we need to get the room name. So the text box name is room, right? So I'm getting the room name. So remember, no validation I'm doing. And then client dot emit join. Sorry, I have to write the event join. I'm sending the room name. Okay, I'm not sending any other information. I'm just sending the room name which I have entered. So what we will do, we are not writing the drop down. You can have the drop down and you can select that, but I'm just writing, right? You can have the drop down, you can have the list, user will select whatever. Okay, so let me just check it on my side. Run it and run it. Okay, I say hi, so all are receiving the hi. Now I am the room in Java, right? So you see Java join the room successfully. This user, you see, I'm writing to myself too that okay, I don't want to customize that. Okay, I joined successfully like that. So when the join happen, successfully message. Now if this guy is in Java, okay, so you will get the message that this guy joined. You can also send the room name if you want, but we know that these two guys are in room, this one, right? I can say Python join it. So you see join the room, but this is how it doesn't work. Only the people inside the current room we can join that, right? So we will update that. Okay, now let's start sending the message, right? Those who are in the group, we will send message to those guys, right? So there will be little updation in the code. Okay, so we are sending the message and everyone is receiving, right? So I'm commenting that line. You can uncomment whenever you're referring your code. So new message, no, here the message is available here. You see, this message is available. This message is available. Okay, now I'm using the same event. I'm using the same event to send the message to the group, right? But the problem is that let me write one more event. Let's do that. Okay, instead of group message, so I'm writing another event, socket dot on. We are receiving the message, right? We can say room message. Okay, so I want to customize little, that's why I'm doing like this. So room message, okay, then again I can use the same one here. Okay, I will update the message here that data would be sent data dot message. Okay, I'm extracting the message. Okay, and if I emit like this message, this will emit to all people, but I don't want to do like that. So instead of using this one, I have to use this message. You see, socket dot broadcast dot to. So if you provide the socket ID, it is one-to-one chat. If you provide the, let me see, okay, I'm just showing you. If you provide the socket ID, okay, okay, just a minute. Message MSC. So we don't want to do this. If you write this one, and DM, let me do direct message or 1-to-1 message using socket ID. Okay, so I've just commented, but I'm just explaining the syntax. So if you write like this, socket dot broadcast dot to or to, we can also have one more method like to. This is one to one, right? Broadcast. Okay, or I can write io dot to the same message. So this will send. Okay, this is what this is one to one. Remember, this is direct message, right? So you know the socket ID to whom you want to send. So what you will do, you will send the username in the message, right? I'm just explaining. I'm not writing the code. You say in the message you will send to whom you want to send. So the username of that. On the server side, we know that okay, this user has this socket. So I can get the socket ID from doing the manipulation, and I will send to that socket. Make sense, guys? Okay, so this is for that purpose. And to all client in room. So instead of socket ID, I will use the, so remember, I cannot use the socket ID. Okay, I'm just writing socket ID like this, so you don't confuse yourself. This is the parameter, right? This is the current socket, so we cannot use socket ID to send. Okay. So here I will write the room name. So I will send the room name in the data dot room, right? So see what I'm doing. When I'm sending the room message, I will send the data payload. Data will contain message and the room. When I'm sending the message, I'm sending who is sending message to what. No, we are not defining the room name here, right? So this will be only delivered to the specific groups, right? So let's try it. When I will receive the message, then I have the message. Okay, I have to change the client, right? Because where is the joining the room is here. Now sending the message, I have to change, right? So whenever where I'm calling the message, this is the event I want to send. Emit message. This is one-to-one message. Okay, message will be there. Okay, now let me do that. Where is that room name? I'm fetching room name here. Okay, I'm just doing this one. Send message. Okay, so message is there. I want that message. Copy dot length. I'm not checking nothing or that. I'm just checking the length. If room name length. Okay, I'm just validating, right? Room name is equal to 0 means there is no room specified. Room is not there, so I can send the message to all. Okay? I can do the emit. Okay, I'm not checking. Else I have to do different payload, right? I have to send the room name also. Okay, sorry. Let me get the room name here by default, and then I will check the length. Okay, room name is not there. Okay, now room name is there. So where msg is equal to, sorry, msg is there. I will create the object, right? So I have to send the room as a value. So I will say room name, comma. I cannot use this message, right? I have to use the, okay, I can use this. Here is the message colon msg. So this is the msg read. We got it. msg is updated. Let me do like this. I don't want to waste time. Okay. So you see what I'm doing here, just see the logic. When I press the button, I read the message. I also read the room name. If there is no room name, I can send simple message. If the room name is available, I want to send the room name and the message together, right? So on the server side, oh, okay, add message. This is wrong. This is wrong. Join message and send message. Room is available. I have to emit another event, right? Sorry for that. So I can use this one here. Send message, and here I will say client. We have different, right? Client dot emit. Okay. So the name of the message is room message, right? So sorry for that confusion, right? I will call the room message, and I will send this payload MSG. All good, guys? I hope you understand. Now room is there. We will send the room name and the message, and in this message, if the message is received here, right, in this side, so we will have the socket ID and data dot message. You see this one, and data dot room is available. So we are getting the whole object. Okay. And anyone, any confusion? Okay. So let me run it on my side. Again, I can explain. So this one is the new chat, guys. Okay. Now let's say these two people join Java. So I say Java. So forget this one. Forget about this other guys, the left guy. Okay. We will deal with that later. So this is Java user, right? Now you see I'm writing the hi message. See, no other can receive, because except this is also not receiving, because we are broadcasting. So if you type the message, no one receive. If I say Java, I am again Java. So this is Java user, right? So these two are in Java group. Now Java. Oh my God. Again, the same problem. Yeah, sending the message. I have to debug that. Connection created. Room message. Data. Okay, now let me do console.log and the data. Okay, I'm just dumping this one, so we will get to know now. Okay, I just want to see like what payload it sends. Okay, I say Java, so all are happy. Okay, join. Okay, all are happy. Okay, now I can say hi. Let me send it. Yeah, so see, room is Java, message is hi. Now message is received on the message side. So where is the message? On message, oh, I'm so sorry. I think I have to write the new message, right? New message. I'm writing the wrong event message. There is no event message. You see, now it's become complex. Okay, let's try. So this guy is Java now. This guy is also Java, right? I say hi. You see this message, this is receiving the message. If I say, because I'm not setting the current one, right? Hello, you see, this group can communicate. This will not receive. If I say Python join room, again I say I am Python and send the message. You see, this will not receive, and this will also not receive, right? And let me bring another client here back. Okay, little good here. So this one is also joining the Python. I want to keep the same name. That's why. Okay. So this is the Python guy. Join. Everyone get the message because we haven't updated that. Then say, I am from Python. You see, This will be received because these both are in the Python. These both are in the Python, so these both can communicate. These both are in Java, so these both can communicate. Yeah, I will share, but you understand what I'm trying to say, right? So these two guys are in Java, so these two can share because I'm not updating the current message. And these two guys are in the Python, so these both can communicate. But remember, you have to send the group name. You have to remember on your side, client side, that okay, I am this group. Otherwise, server will don't know. But what, because what happened, from which group you are sending, because you might have joined multiple groups. You might have joined multiple groups. So how user will know that okay, which, so let's say this guy also joined the Python. So see, Java is already there. This guy joined the Python. Now join it. Now see, when I send the message, see, both can receive. Now this guy is in Python and also in Java. But you see, when I send the Java, see, it's received the message. Sorry, I did the wrong one. Hello, you see, this can receive because this is also in the Java. So what happened? This guy is chatting with two people, one in the Python, one in the group. But you have to create the interface in such a way that you can easily separate both messages. Like, okay, this is from Python, this is from Java. Now I hope you understand, right? So let me first send the server file. Okay, I'm sharing the server file first. Okay, yesterday I was stuck here, like, because I was not typing and sending this room name. I thought like I can use the global one. So when there is a global one, only one room is active at a time. Okay, let me know once you copied the server. I can paste it for the HTML. Okay, I will show you what I have done because I can explain one more time. All good? I'm pasting the browser now. Okay, so browser is available. Okay, now let me explain here. So what I have done, okay, let me do one more time. If I don't have any room name, right? Hello to all. So this will send to all. You see, hello to all. Hello to all means what? If there is no room selected, means I am chatting to all, broadcasting. If I type the group name, it will send only to the Java guys, right? So I'm just doing manually writing, but you have to do the on your side. You have to manage that, okay, which user, which group, using some data structure, right? Okay, now let me go here. Now you see the new message is received. I use the same format, sender and the message. So it's appending. So no more big deal here. But when you're sending to the group, so I have the same button to send, right? Same message box is there. So what I did, I get the message from the message text box, like from here. This is message box. I also get the room name from this one. Now, if room name land means there is no room name, no is blank, means I don't want to send to the group. So I will send emit, normal message. So it will send to all, right? And I'm adding the message here. Now, I want, if no length means room is there. So I'm appending the room name, also the message here. You see, appending the room name and also the message. Okay, so I can also send here add message, right? I can call that, just utilize. Okay, so I'm embedding one message object, room name and the message to send, and I call the room emit. So you see different. This is the to all, this is to all group. Now this part is clear, Gustav, Mr. Anyone else? Okay. Okay. Now this is for the group. I say room message. This is the message, but this is the logic I'm writing like that, right? Now once the event is fired, so room message will activate, right? So I'm commenting this one. So message, I'm again creating the same type of message so that client can receive other client socket ID and the data. I can also send the room name if I want, if it is room available, right? So I can also differentiate that room name. So I'm sending the message here. Now, if you want to do one-to-one chatting, you can use this one, socket ID. This is fine. I just commented that. But I want to send to the group. So I use socket dot broadcast to. So this user is broadcasting to other user, but to the what? To the room name, because I want to detect like which room name, and emit the message. So new message will activate. On the client side, new message is same as what we have received, right? So if I can also add the room name if I want, blank, room name blank, right? But I'm not appending that. Okay, now understand. Okay, on which file, Gustav? Index file. Okay, index file. This is the custom display message, and this is the send message. All good? Okay, now remember, you have to customize, right? You have to write the condition. Now let's say I didn't discuss about this user. So you can say, okay, after connection, you write your username and send. So it will store somewhere in the database or in the local array. And you can also store the socket ID, right? If the user join the room, you keep the room value. So room name and the name and the socket ID will be keep in one object array, and you can loop through that and find it, right? So socket ID is unique, but I always keep the user as a unique, because user might connect it from multiple clients, so we don't want to do that, right? Yeah. So this username, what? Send username, right? So when I'm joining, I can also set the username that this user sending. But for all type of message, I can also send the username when sending, means which user send the message. So I can add the field here. I can add when I'm sending the message, I'm embedding the user all the time. So I will get to know which user send the message. Make sense? Yeah. So room name is there. I'm sending message only. But if I want to make it more understandable, I can create this object as a message. Will contain username and room name and the object. If no room name, you can have the blank. You can compare whenever you are validating, sending the message, right? Yeah. So this is all for today. So I will upload this code. Let me close this one. Right. And what I did, just one more thing. So you see, I installed this blob. So what blob will do? So let me go here. So when I say express, right? Express. So if I search it, okay, why am I not able to do that? Okay, it's here. Okay, express, right? Express. Otherwise, it automatically fine. So you see, I got the express. I am interested in, let's say, listen. So see, it will give me the code. It will bring the code for me, right? So you can copy this code to import and listen. You can have one get request, listen. So it gives you some code snippet here. So install this for anything. Like if you say the course, if you search for the course, right? So it will search for the course. I think it's changed. Yeah, you see, course, origin, example, right? So, but you must know little knowledge. This will help you to write some piece of the code. If you don't understand the course, it useless, right? And let me do socket.io something. Socket.io. So you see, create server. You can use this one, but you must know some concept. Remember connection, right? It's gonna save connection, save. This many clients are connected, right? Redis. You can use the Redis for caching purpose, right? So here you can use the Redis. It's lots of code. So blob, just install the extension blob. Okay, yeah, let me share the server again. I will upload this file. So this is more clear code than yesterday, because what happened, I was lazy. I don't know. I don't want to write that object. So I didn't write this object. That was only I was doing. I was not writing this object. I'm just making the variable global, right? So that was my laziness. Yeah, cool. Now let me close this guy. I will upload this one. Okay. Close, close. Good. Thank you. Thank you guys. Yeah, take care. Maybe I missed something, but you understand the concept. So that's enough. Okay, for the lab exercise, you refer I uploaded the code here. Refer this example. You'll be good. And whatever we have discussed in the class for the testing, week 3, Thursday lab. Okay, thank you guys. Yeah, take care. Okay, I am dropping. Stop sharing.